Yeah, the sorcery tree, definitely, because it gives you adaptive AD, AP, I think it's better to start out with than to have the precision for attack speed. So I like the Aerie there. And also something interesting to consider is I wonder if Aerie on the W and the Q from Draven gives him the shield from Aerie, because things like Garen's W will make Aerie give him the shield. So I'm excited to see what happens here. They both have resolved secondary. Now we're on the Rift, or I guess the Abyss.
The Abyss. Let's see how these guys decide to play the level 1. I mean, Bjergsen's gonna walk right up to that brush, and Jisu's gonna say, how you doing? Hit him with a couple of axes. 1, 2, 3, right, one after the other. Now, Bjergsen will be able to get back. I mean, they met each other there before the minions spawn. Howling Abyss 1 versus 1 isn't like Howling Abyss ARAM. You are allowed to go back and heal, shop, do whatever. I mean, if you weren't allowed to do anything until you died, it would kind of defeat the purpose, considering you die and you lose. But Bjergsen gets to go back. He'll walk out with the minion wave. No love lost.
Another thing to consider here is their items that they purchased at the start, right? We've seen Longsword 3 potions, but it's Doran's Blade 1 potion for Jisu. He's going to have to control the wave and get a lot of auto attacks off. But another thing here that's interesting is you kind of give away and telegraph where you're going to go as the Draven, so you can just throw the Paddle Star at the little icon.
Yeah, the axe marker. We'll have to see if he can manipulate that properly. You saw Bjergsen try to throw the Paddle Star backwards and catapult it into the melee wave at the very start there and miss a couple of them. So Jisu controlling the wave a little bit better right now.
Yeah, and it takes 1 minion on the second wave to actually hit level 2. So it's going to be level 2 for Jisu, but it looks like he's mostly concerned with farming here.
Yep, not going in just yet.
Oh man, this is going to be so interesting, because you could just throw Sleepy Trouble Bubble at the axe and kind of force him to drop one of them.
Yep, you have to be able to play around those bubbles if you are Jisu. We've seen just how effective Zoe can be as long as you're hitting the bubbles. The damage potential you have is huge. Jisu still in a decent enough spot for now, but I also wonder how the itemization is going to go as we go on through this game, because we've seen some different itemization choices so far. Is he just going to go for some armor penetration? Is he going to get a Hex Drinker? There's a lot of choices we could go for.
See, that's the thing is I think we've seen Serrated Dirks when I feel like there should be more Hex Drinkers against mages, so if Jisu is on point, I feel like he would go for less of the style of all-inning like he has before and more for going for the defensive options.
All right, he's 19 farm compared to 16 farm, so up just a little bit in that one. Health relatively high for both players. Near max.
Oh,
he's going to eat a lot of damage on that one, though. Drowsy now, falling asleep. Nullifying Orb procs to protect him a little bit, but Bjergsen definitely gets the better of his opponent on that trade. Jisu still farming it up. No fear here. Pops the potion. Bjergsen drinking one of his as well. Jisu still not going to be forced back on this one. Wants to keep farming it up. The Nullifying Orb did do a little bit to protect him, but remember, Nullifying Orb, that rune in the sorcery tree that provides you sort of a mini Hex Drinker effect when you fall low, but the mini in that statement is very, very true. It is not a super strong shield. It's a small mitigation for magic damage, but it did help prevent some of the extra burst here.
Yeah, right now, it's going to land on a minion there. And we'll see what happens. You can see right there, Spell Thief is going to give Bjergsen something if he kills that minion. You have to last hit it to get the Spell Thief.
Jisu trying to prevent that, but I don't know how effective that'll be. Paddle Star coming in.
Is that Ignite?
Let's see what it dropped. That is Ignite. Bjergsen grabs an Ignite onto Jisu, drops the exhaust.
Oh!
Sleepy Trouble Bubble. He's asleep. And the damage doesn't find him.
Hot.
Jisu gets out. We were talking about this guy getting away with things by the skin of his teeth. Single-digit HP.
Oh, Bjergsen was even blue heal there. That's the first summoner spell. I guess the second one counting the Ignite that Bjergsen's had to blow. So no more achievement for him.
We don't count the Ignite. We don't count the Ignite. That is technically Bjergsen's W. That is not a summoner spell. A real one.
Man, that was so close. Jisu, though, gonna pick himself up a Vamp Scepter. Something to note is they both took the Resolve Tree secondary, but Jisu has Revitalize instead of Second Wind. So it'll give him an overshield after he heals over a certain amount here. So that's why he has the Vamp very early on, so he could add a little bit more HP on top of it. But I do feel like Second Wind is overall a little bit of a better mastery, or I guess a rune to have. Masteries, rest in peace.
Yeah, we can't call them masteries anymore. They're all ruined, they're all reforged. Jisu back to farming up, 37 to 37. This game is close in farm, and that makes it that much more fun to watch, because a lot of times you see these games end up at a point where one person has so much of a farm advantage, the other guy's forced into making bad moves. But when the farm stays close, it balances on a knife's edge. Bjergsen looking for some cheeky moves.
He got a heal. He got the heal.
He had the heal that was used by Jisu earlier. Now able to find the Trouble Bubble yet again. Your Paddle Star finds its mark. Bjergsen looking for maybe a little bit more power for the first blood.
A fast paddle star too, right before he gets the health relic that it come back
We did see
up.
Bjergsen control these waves against Faker with this champion. We saw him play this game against someone playing Syndra, against a very mechanically talented player playing Syndra. So up against something like Tahm Kench, whoo, he's got his work cut out for him.
And the Tahm Kench has boots. He has the ghost. He has the heal. This is go fast Tahm Kench.
Okay,
this is special delivery sushi chef, master chef Tahm Kench.
Let's see if he can drift around and find his way towards Bjergsen, get those stacks down and find the Devour. Bjergsen, though, the one who should be in control with the push, with the wave control early. Like I said, Jisu's the one with that work cut out for him in this, just because of the fact that, I mean, you're Tahm Kench into Taliyah.
Yeah.
Your tongue is stopped by minions. You don't have a lot of long-range capability to engage on this champion that is so adept at keeping herself far away.
Yeah, I feel as though this is going to come down to Bjergsen just skirting around, keeping his range and killing all of the minions, going back and not even like pushing him up to the turret to deal turret damage because he doesn't want to risk it. We'll see here how they start this off.
All right, threaded volley into the wave, as could be expected. Also worth pointing out that it is airy once again on Bjergsen's Taliyah. Just wants to make sure that every time he lands the poke, it's that much more effective. So not really anything too surprising coming out of him just yet. Jisu, mindful of how the minion farming works underneath the turret, not able to find that last one. 6-2-3 right now. So Bjergsen is in the spot that you're going to see him in for most of the game. I think if Jisu is able to find his all-in, it's going to be a case of sort of what you were describing earlier, where he kind of gets to level 6, he gets swiftness boots, and then he goes for the all-in then. The early game isn't going to be fun for this Kench.
Yeah, Bjergsen was talking about the cheese ball strategies. I mean, this is one that he's cooked up here. Jisu will see if he's able to actually execute on it, because I feel like it's one that the condition is pretty narrow. The enemy, if they're thinking about your win condition, they might be able to avoid it completely. Now, Bjergsen's going to back and use Taliyah passive, where he just runs against walls and structures and gets back very quickly without missing much in terms of CS.
Because he knows the cannon waves underneath the enemy turret, it's going to take that much more time for it to clear out. He's got enough time to get back to the wave without missing much at all.
Yep.
Another Dorian's ring picked up, more potions picked up. He's in the spot he wants to be.
Yeah, and let's talk about his runes right here, because he has Biscuit Delivery and he has Futures Market. So Bjergsen, taking the advice of kind of Azale yesterday, talking about how good Futures Market is, and you can buy so many potions, and he's done that for himself right now.
Getting those extra potions early on. Remember, this is a 1 versus 1 that's played, from level 1. You only have the money at the start. This isn't ARAM rules where you're starting off really far ahead and you've got 1,300 gold to spend as soon as you load into the game.
Yeah, no level 3 start.
Right, so you have to play around the same types of things you would play around if you were laning early on in Summoner's Rift. And having an extra 200 gold to spend at the start through Futures Market can be huge. The amount of potions, some players might remember the good old times of 9 potion start, which, by the way, was not actually good. It was not fun to play against because the person had so much sustain in lane.
Red pot, though, plus
Red
potions
pot
was
plus
fun.
potions. That was pretty silly. That was also a good time. Bjergsen will continue to push the waves out, continue to control the pace of this game.
And so I went back and I looked. Bjergsen actually missed 0 creeps when he went back and ran all the way. None of his minions had died. Look at that, Jisu. First item, Swifty Boots. I want that special delivery to come through.
He wants it too, but he can't get anywhere near Bjergsen right now. He just keeps this wave pushed up. He throws down all these rocks all over the place, every single wave. What's a Kench got to do?
And here's the thing, though, is he has to kind of only do this one time. He gets one moment, one opportunity to make this happen, because as soon as Bjergsen sees it once, you're not going to have the summoner spells or the time because of the CS to actually execute it again. So Jisu would have to do it one time, and I think he's waiting for phase rush levels to get to like 6 or 7, so he has all that movement speed.
You get to 6, you ult behind them, and you go. That's the only shot you pretty much got. If you're the Tahm Kench in this one, I want to see it work. I really do, but at the same time, you also got to remember, Bjergsen has exhaust, he has barrier. It's not as simple as gobble him up, spit him out, and he dies.
I mean, you'll have boots and you'll have phase rush. You're going to reduce the slow of the exhaust, and it wouldn't really matter too much. He's still going to be super speed Tahm Kench. I honestly hope that Jisu's able to pull this off.
Well, Bjergsen's already up to 46 CS. He keeps going back pretty consistently to get more and more. Biscuits in his inventory, like you mentioned earlier, means he's going to have even more mana as he continues to lane through this.
Yeah, if I'm Jisu, he's
here we go.
behind him. He has the ghost
on
on.
to make the play. He pops the ghost already. Now looking to chase Bjergsen down, doesn't find the tongue, and that could be the thing that separates this from being successful or
Oh,
not.
it's gonna-
He's
not
gonna
gonna
carry
get
him
back, though.
backwards. Can't get him all the way back to the turret, but he does bring him back far enough to continue to apply the damage. Exhaust gonna be used. Jisu still has thick skin, looking to
Here
find
comes
the
the tongue.
tongue. The tongue comes out. Not quite making its way just yet. There's your stun barrier. Still gonna be used. Jisu can't do it. First blood to Bjergsen. And that ends this 1v1.
The 2-0 for Bjergsen. The seismic shove on the Tom Kench ultimate, the Abyssal Voyage location.